You could probably use what's in the back of you.
I'll figure it out next time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another edition of the Roto Hackers podcast. And so I don't have to point at people. I'm just going to do an intro this way. My name is AJ Herschel, also known as the Kid. Right over there, it's the man, the myth, the Judah Buddha, wearing
there's
Roto
the man.
T-shirt.
There's the
there
man.
He is, right behind him, Derrick Henry, the absolute unit. And y'all already know it's the absolute stud. It's Jared! And we are your unauthorized reporters of fantasy football news and information. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? Or tonight, I should say.
I've never been more mediocre.
I have a new chair that I'm sitting in because my other one finally broke after 15 years.
No. Rest in peace, chair.
Yeah, it was like an old T-shirt, like just super comfortable, but it was done. And also got a new puppy last week.
What?
So congratulations!
You have two now?
I have two now. Yeah, well, not two puppies, but two dogs.
Well, the other one is like
so
a puppy.
cool.
So the other one is like a puppy. Yeah.
What kind of dog?
He's same as the other one. He's a cross between a Yorkie and a toy poodle.
Nice.
So
they call him Yoodles.
He looks like they call him Yorkie Poos.
I made that up.
Yorkie
Poos. That's way better than I had.
Like I could maybe get him out. Like he's sleeping right beside me in a crate right now. But
let him sleep.
I don't know if I want to wake. But on the other hand, like I don't know if I want to. Like I kind of want him to not sleep now. I want him to sleep.
Sleep when you sleep.
Sleep when I sleep. Yeah. So yeah, hang on. Let me.
Oh, here we go.
Buddy.
We'll get all the views now.
Yes.
All right, buddy.
Oh, you got a gaming chair.
Now. That's nice.
I do have a gaming chair.
Whoa.
Nice.
All right.
Labbing out Smash Brothers.
All right. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
This
the big reveal.
The ultimate guard dog here.
Yes.
Or I got suckered and scammed into buying a mutant rabbit.
So beautiful. Look at that dog.
You have no idea what you're looking at. You're looking at us. It's like a mirror. It's like a mirror for you. Yeah.
That is so cute. Wow. Do those cost a lot of money?
I mean, like almost any dog you get, unless you get like a dog from the shelter or something, you maybe pay. Well, sometimes they'll do like free adoption fees or something, but yeah, like, I mean, pretty much any dog that you get that's like either a pure blooded dog or even like a cross or something. I mean, you're spending hundreds of dollars, so.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'm not positive I just got him Friday. And so I haven't fully committed to a name. I've bounced around through a bunch of different ones. Right now I'm thinking about I'm actually thinking about Colt. So he's a blue, what is it called? Like blue party sable or something like that. Cause I mean, he's white and technically like I guess it's gray. His face is gray looking, but it's technically considered blue. So thinking about Colt, thought about Ghost for a little while because he's pretty white, but he's got, I don't know. He was harder to name, like Gambit, my other dog Gambit. Like I had that picked out before I ever even got him, and it just always fit. And this one I've just had more trouble figuring out a name for.
Huh. But was this like an impulse buy, or was this like a what?
It was a little bit of an impulse buy, yeah. And normally I'm not that way. Normally I have everything like picked out and planned out, and I just decided, Gambit's 7. I've gotten far enough away from him being a puppy to kind of forget how rough it is to have a puppy, and so it's like, I saw somebody else had done a YouTube video about getting a new puppy and talking about how you just like, there is no middle ground. You just alternate between moments of this is great, this is one of the best decisions I've ever made, to what in the world was I thinking? This thing is going to kill me one way or another, you know? And so you just go back and forth, and he goes back and forth because he's like in his crate. He is like the calmest, sweetest little dog. He doesn't really cry to get out.
That's nice.
He's great. Turn him out and he's a Tasmanian devil. He just like goes through just like running like faster than this thing should be able to run. And he'll just grab something, anything, you know, up that he's not supposed to have. And he's just like slinging it from side to side and throws it aside. And he runs to another object and picks it up and he's slinging it and throws it away. And you're just like, what? We have summoned a demon, you know? And so, so like his emotions swing back and forth, and then your emotions swing back and forth too. So, but once you can, if you just survive that puppy stage, then, you know, you get a great little dog. And, so he's great now. So anyway.
You should call him Derrick Henry. That's what
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
He is, honestly, like that's probably like fairly appropriate, but I don't know that I want to name him. I don't know that I want to name him Derrick Henry.
Well, you probably bought him with some CMC money, so
well, that's true. Yeah, maybe so.
Might want to call him
C-Mac.
C-Mac.
Colt McCaffrey.
I bought a. Let's see. Oh, I can show you that too. Yeah, it's a much cheaper buy. I'm gonna put him back in his crate here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our new Roto Hackers mascot right there.
Right. So I did buy a little tribute to C-Mac.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm
okay.
very curious here. The suspense.
Okay, so I collect Funko Pops.
Oh,
Yeah!
So I got a C-Mac Funko Pop.
nice.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a considerably cheaper purchase than the dog, but yep. So yeah, I've just got a whole new setup, a new pop in front of me, a new chair, and a new dog.
Very nice. Very nice. Great way to start this episode. Luke Ojeda, Eric Courier, good to see you guys.
Oh,
Hope you all
whoa, we
are
already
doing
got people in here, huh? All right.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's funny with trying to name a dog because everyone has an opinion about it, you know, and like everyone's is completely different, you know, and they're like, no, he doesn't look like this. He looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at? What are we
it's
doing?
Time to get into last week's. Well, later we'll get to one random topic that I came up with that we'll discuss that I teased at the end of last episode. But right now, it was AFC and NFC Championship week.
Yeah.
And what were your guys' thoughts? So let's start with Chiefs and our beloved Titans. The run has ended.
So
but it was a great run.
that second half is what, remember back during the season, I said I felt like the Chiefs had the right defense to stop Derrick Henry. I expected them to do exactly what they did in the second half. They caught him in the backfield. They caught him, you know, they got through the line and they got him before he got any steam. Now, before the second half, like, I don't know what they were doing. Like, the lights went off. Maybe they saw our podcast or something. I don't know. But, yeah, so it was a little bit of a heartbreaker for those of, I'm not a huge fan of the Titans. I love me some Derrick Henry. I always have. He's, pretty much been my main guy.
As evidenced by him staring at you in the background.
But I really thought that they were going to win. You start off,
Titans or the
yes,
Chiefs?
the Titans, the way they were playing in the first half really had me. I mean, particularly in the first quarter. Now, of course, there was always in my mind, they're gonna have to get a lot further ahead than this, you know. It's the Chiefs are used to coming back from big deficits, but I didn't actually, the whole game up until the very end, I didn't feel like they were a lesser team. I felt like they were just as good as a team, except they didn't have Mahomes. You know, it was like the rest of they didn't have that Mahomes factor. Whereas, you know, we'll talk about the Super Bowl, but yeah, I was pretty impressed and proud of the Titans. They hung in there. It was not a blowout.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the other game. But yeah, I thought I was pretty impressed, and I thought it was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah. Jared, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I felt better this week because things went pretty well how I thought they would go in both games after I was just mostly wrong about everything in the previous round. So, I honestly did not. What did I get to see? I got to see the end of the Chiefs game. I wasn't able to see any of the 49ers Packers game, but apparently there wasn't really much of a game to see there anyway. But yeah, I got to see parts of the Chiefs Titans game. That was about what I thought it would be. I thought the Titans would keep it fairly close, but they, just wouldn't have enough to really get there and beat them. So I got to see that Mahomes pass to Mecole Hardman. I think it was live.
Yeah.
That was kind of the backbreaker there.
Yeah. Well, it was the precursor.
Yeah.
Because that's the next pass was the backbreaker. The next pass to Hill. Hardman got it to like the 10, and then Hill brought it in.
Okay. Yeah.
But they look like the same guy. They play like the same guy.
They do well, yeah, and I think that's why they drafted Hardman, was they didn't know what was going to happen with Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
And then that ended up working out, I think, way better than anybody expected for them. So now they've got two of those guys plus Watkins. Or wait, was it Watkins?
It was
Watkins. Yeah,
yeah.
that was who. That was. Yeah, I was wrong. It was. It just clicked with me. Like, wait a minute, no, it was Watkins.
Watkins had a huge, beautiful touchdown. Yeah.
So
about time doesn't help fantasy players.
Right. So the game just went about how I thought it would. Arrowhead's a tough place to play when you got to play Mahomes, just Mahomes is the guy in the NFL now. I mean, for all we want to say about Lamar Jackson, I mean, what he did was very impressive this season, but he got to a point, and he's a year behind Patrick Mahomes. So, maybe a year from now, he's more like what Mahomes is now. But, I think Mahomes is just kind of head and shoulders above everybody else right now because Aaron Rodgers has lost a step. Tom Brady doesn't have the weapons. Time's caught up with him, I think, a little bit. And then, Andrew Luck's gone. There's just not another guy in the NFL like Patrick Mahomes. So I hope within the next couple years or few years, we get some more guys that can be kind of that next generation of great passers, because the ones that we've kind of been used to, the Brady, the Breeze, the Rodgers, they're all kind of on the decline. And, Rodgers especially, I've really enjoyed watching over the years. And we need some more guys. We need a Mahomes, a Burrow, a Trevor Lawrence, hopefully maybe even another guy or two out of these next couple of classes that can kind of be that next generation of great quarterbacks.
Mhm.
Well, watching my Titans lose was I say my Titans, the Bears fan, but watching the Titans lose was a little bit rough. But I did find it really interesting just how the game completely shifted. And I'm sorry, but I watched part of the Chiefs game on my phone, and I came home, and my mom was like, "Hey, did you see that play that Pat Mahomes made when he just ran to the end zone?" And I said, "Yeah, that was some of the worst tackling I'd seen in a while."
Yeah, right.
That was
Wait,
atrocious.
where he ran it in?
Yeah, where he ran it in. He broke, quote unquote, 4 to 5 tackles.
Those last two tackles, though, he literally broke, though.
Only one. I would say only 1.5 of them.
The first guy fell.
Yeah.
The first guy fell.
The first guy fell. The second guy just kind of tried to drag him down, and he just sidestepped him.
I thought it was a pretty good run.
I thought it was a fine run. But one of the things that I'm saying 49ers, Tennessee's defense just couldn't keep pace with the Chiefs. The Chiefs got out to a lead, and the Titans tried to come back, but they couldn't because their defense wouldn't let them. The difference between the Ravens game and the Chiefs game, they were able to just manhandle the Ravens because they had four turnovers that turned into touchdowns. They didn't make the Chiefs turn the ball over once. The defense couldn't get it done. The Titans couldn't control the game the way they wanted to. And while it hurts, my younger brother's going ballistic because he's a Chiefs fan. And so he is excited, very excited. Mm-hmm. And on the topic of the Titans, Eric Courier says, does anyone else think Jared looks like Ryan Tannehill?
I saw that. I can see the resemblance.
I don't know, Jared.
He's got that he's got the strong chin.
I'll have to.
The hair. What? Do it again.
There's Jared, and there's Tannehill.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say Tannehill's a little more goofy.
I don't know. I was gonna say he's like, that's a better looking man than me.
I don't know. You're a little bit more symmetrical.
I don't know about that. Maybe it's just the lighting.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm in bad lighting though. That's my defense for this.
I think it's your jawline though. It's very you have like that solid face. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, the jawline is similar. Maybe if I wasn't in glasses, I'll have to do we'll do a side by side.
Okay.
Yeah, I get but I get it because I get there's a couple of people that I get, like one of them, well, a few of them. Okay, so I get the character from LA Noire, the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get that one.
The one I always tell you look like. Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
Let me see.
I get the guy from Hall & Oates, the band. I get Emilio Estevez.
Okay.
These are just ones that I've gotten more than once, and so I'm like, okay, maybe there's.
The one that reminds me most of you. Let me see if I can find him.
And then one time, but the funnier ones are the completely random ones, because one time I was at the mall at a Sbarro.
Yeah,
how do you pronounce that pizza? Sbarro. Yeah, and I walk up there and the guy was like, "Oh, dude, I thought you were Luke Perry."
I can see Luke Perry.
I've never. That's the one and only time, and I'm like. In my head, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, young Luke Perry or old Luke Perry, because there's a significant and now R.I.P. Luke Perry. I forget that he's dead now, but there's a significant gap there. So maybe I'm old Luke Perry.
I'm trying to find a good picture, but I'll just show you the guy I think you look like.
I'm terrified.
Have you ever seen Goonies? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's the Terminator from Terminator 2.
Oh, Robert Patrick. No,
Yeah.
I've gotten him too. Yeah, I've gotten
Robert
Robert Patrick multiple
Patrick.
times. One time, that's a funny story too. This turning into
boy.
a weird episode. But I went to
This is when we run out of content, but we act
This
like
is-
we're not running out of content.
True, right. That's the reason I'm going with this. If we were in season, I wouldn't waste time with this stuff. But I mean, we've got like 8 months till football season,
Yeah,
so we can kill some. But no, I was going through a Zaxby's drive-through one time, and
Oh boy.
the lady at the drive-through was like, "Oh my goodness, you scared me to death.
What?
You look just like the Terminator." She's like,
This guy right
she's
here.
like, you need to like, I need to get you to like hold up a picture and say, "Have you seen this kid? Or have you seen this boy?" You remember the line from from the movie? Yeah. So yeah, I've gotten Robert Patrick.
Okay.
I think
It looks like him. Huh?
I don't know. I think the hair's throwing me off a little bit.
it's like I'd have to
Yeah.
find a photo like when he was younger and I was younger.
Yeah.
It was more of a resemblance probably, but yeah, sometimes it's one of those things where you have to like,
Oh
Fine.
wait, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So what about the other game?
Shoot a Buddha, I'll let this up to you. Do you want to take this one first and get it over with?
Man,
Go
you,
first?
know what?
Luke Ojeda in the comments over here. He is ready, man.
I don't know what
He's
bebop
ready.
means. Oh, being sad
Being
about.
sad about, yeah.
Like, put the sad music on. It's time to cry. My Packers.
arms of the angels.
God,
Sorry, continue.
that's really
He ain't
loud.
coming for Green Bay.
Look, we all knew that it was a slim chance that they'd win. I started hyping myself up, picturing ways that they could do it. They need a better receiving core and a better offensive line. Look, the people who won that game or who dominated that game, it was the 49ers defensive line. They were warriors, mad dogs out there. And honestly, maybe Aaron Rodgers in his younger years could have dealt with that, but I've heard the word fragile thrown around. Now, he's still got years in him. But they're really going to have to shore up that offensive line if they want to make another Super Bowl run. If they want to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to protect him better, especially with such a weak receiving core. I think they shied away from the run game too much. I don't know why, but they decided not to run it. Now, they were down 1,000,000 points, but sometimes you have to. I feel like good teams, maybe they just don't trust. They don't trust Aaron Jones, but I would have trusted Aaron Jones more than they did. And sometimes when you're down, you can't just think game script. I got to start throwing, flinging the ball, because you wind up with zero. Much rather have like chunk plays by the running backs than now. Granted, I don't know that the running backs could have gotten much better. And I have to give mad props to Mostart, man. That guy is a must-start. Colonel Mustard. He looked like he drank 7 Mountain Dews before the game, man. He was high stepping through there like he was like on fire. It was beautiful. So that's all I gotta say.
Jared, you're up next.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it last week. The way that San Francisco handled them in that first game earlier this year. I mean, what was going to happen to, change the outcome this time? Like maybe it could be a little bit closer. But other than that, I mean, the fact that it was in San Francisco. San Francisco's got a better defense. They just have, they've got better lines. They've got more weapons around them. There's always the narrative about the revenge game, like, oh, it's going to be a revenge. When does that ever work out?
Never.
That's not true. It does work out.
Very, very rarely.
Very rarely.
About 50% of the time.
No, I wouldn't say 50% of the time. I would say
say
less than
15.
that. Especially in big games, especially in playoff games, because in regular season games, like I remember like Steve Smith, like when he went to the Ravens and, I think he blew up on the Panthers or something like that. That's one
every
thing.
time he played them.
Right. But playoff football is
playoff football is different. Yeah.
It's different. And revenge doesn't matter. It's it's the best of the best, the best teams, the best coaches. And like I said before, the only thing that basically the only real shot that I gave Green Bay was if somehow Matt LaFleur has been, saving some stuff, if he just turns out to be this super genius that can outcoach Kyle Shanahan, which I, thought was unlikely because Shanahan has, we saw what he did with the Falcons a few years ago. We've seen what he's done with the 49ers this year. He's a good coach. He knows how to use his players. So San Francisco just had home field advantage and a better team. And I mean, it was just too easy for him. I mean, you look at Garoppolo's numbers. What did he have passing? Like 77 yards?
6 of 8.
He didn't need to.
77.
He played a great game.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like he didn't even need to. They just ran over them, ran through them, and shut them down on the other side. So, so I'm not really knocking him. I'm just saying like that's how easy it was. It was like almost like two high school teams where one is just significantly better than the other, and they don't need the quarterback to even throw. They can just run the ball right through them. So. I thought it was going to be bad again, and it was probably even a little worse than I thought it was going to be. So, just not surprised there. And I hate it for, I started to say I hate it for Rodgers. I really kind of hate it more for, just for, I think me as a fan, because I enjoy watching him play, but yeah, they've got to get him more weapons. They've got to get him a better line. I just don't think he's, got enough to overcome disadvantages now at this point in his career. So, I mean, he hasn't put up good numbers in a couple years now, Yeah. AJ, what do you think?
Is AJ there? Hello?
I'm going to savor this moment for a second.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
If there's one thing I've been ragging the Packers on all year about, it hasn't been Aaron Jones. It hasn't been Aaron Rodgers. You know what it was? It's the Packers' run defense. And Raheem Mostert made them look like fools. They were up 27-0 at halftime. It was the blowout that I expected and the blowout that I wanted, and I could not be happier.
It wasn't a blowout by the end of the game, though. It was like
great! Oh, congrats! A couple garbage time touchdowns to try to save the score.
I think that the term is it looked worse than the score.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was worse than the score appeared, or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Bears can. Oh, they've been out for a while. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Nope. You cannot touch me tonight. I am on cloud 9. No way.
Like the 9th pick?
Wait, no, like the
that's
49ers.
They had, and they moved up to get Trubisky.
Nope. I've heard it all. I've seen it all.
They traded with the 49ers to get Trubisky.
Got so close. And Packers fans have been hoping for this.
Hey, but at least they passed on Mahomes.
27-point deficit. 27 points.
So,
27.
wait a minute. Were we talking earlier about Mahomes going to the Super Bowl? That's the guy they could have had? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Sure.
Trubisky's
Guess what? You want to know something? What team won't
Trubisky's
be
been all right.
36-year-old Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams and the somewhat magnificent five.
Hey, man, Packers.
I'm sorry.
I'm proud of my Packers. They did great this year. They had a great season, and they did pretty well in the playoffs, man.
If you're happy with falling short of the Super Bowl in consecutive seasons for 10 straight years,
man, at least we made it.
That works for me.
At least we made it.
That works for
in
me.
the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Laugh it up all you want, but all that hope of the Packers upsetting the 49ers slowly was dripped out.
You win some, you lose some. Unless you're the Bears, you just lose them all.
No, this time some of them hurt more than others.
All right.
Sorry about that, Green Bay.
I have no dog in this fight. I've been thinking about the 2020 draft since August.
Really?
August. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I knew Jacoby wasn't going to be the guy in Indy.
Well, so what pick does Indy have?
13.
Yeah.
13.
That's not bad. It's not terrible.
It's hard to know exactly. Drafts never go the way you think they're going to. And if we're making a hard turn from the championship stuff, we can go right back to it in a second. Mm-hmm. But I'll just say, like you don't know, like this class, like I don't think Tua's draft stock's really going to get hurt that much. Herbert, it's hard to tell right now. I think he goes top 10. I think people that are expecting him to fall, I don't know that he's going to. I think even like guys like Jacob Eason or Jordan Love could sneak up into the top 10.
Wow. Even what? Wait, top 10 draft picks?
Yeah. Wow. Because I mean, if you look at where we are every year at this time, like there are guys who like in December of last year, nobody thought Kyler Murray was even going to play football. And then after that, they didn't think he would be anything more than a late round pick. And then after that, they didn't think he'd be a mid round pick. And then after that, it was a first round pick. And it took a while for him to get up to like number 1 overall pick.
Who are we talking about?
Kyler Murray.
Daniel Jones, who would have thought he would have gone that high? Mitch Trubisky, who would have thought Deshaun Watson would slip to 12, Carson Wentz kind of came out of not exactly nowhere, but up until like his senior year, people hadn't really heard of him. So, teams tend to overreach for quarterbacks.
What quarterback are you hoping for?
I don't know exactly. Like, they're not going to get Burrow.
No.
Even if Cincinnati was willing to trade that, they would have to give up so
Who's the guy for Oklahoma? Would you take him?
Jalen Hurts?
Oh, Hurts. Yeah. No, I'm not a Hurts fan. Tua is just too fragile. I don't want them to take Tua because, I mean, the college injuries already, like the only thing that's going to happen in the NFL is you're going to get bigger, faster players tackling you.
Yep.
Tua would terrify me to take him.
Wow.
If he was healthy, sure, absolutely. No second guess about it, but I would just be terrified of him. So I think the 3 guys that have a chance to be there for the Colts and who they might take, well, maybe 4 guys, would be Herbert. I think he could potentially fall to around that area, or they could trade up a few spots to get him. Maybe I could see them doing, Justin Herbert. I could see them doing that. Because he's a big guy. He's accurate. He's got good leadership qualities. Good kid. Yeah. He's athletic.
Kind of like Andrew Luck, like junior.
He's like Andrew Luck light.
Oh.
He really is. That's who he kind of reminds me of.
Interesting.
So I could see them doing that. Jordan Love, the quarterback out of Utah State, who people
people want to see Patrick Mahomes in him. I don't know if he's going to get anywhere close to Patrick Mahomes, but because of, it's a copycat league. And so, for the same reason that they want to hire the next Sean McVay as a coach, they want to find the next Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. So, so they think Jordan Love could be that guy. I think he's a possibility. But I could see the Colts also taking either, maybe not necessarily at the 13th pick, but maybe trading the back up into the first round or taking him early second round, would either be Jacob Eason or Jake Fromm. Two completely different quarterbacks, like one's a Matt Stafford type, one's a Drew Brees or Kirk Cousins type. I don't know. The Colts have to get somebody, like, as long as, if they just identify a guy and they take him with one of their first 2 picks, because they've got the Redskins pick in the second round. So it's like the second pick of the second round. So that gives them an opportunity to either, get a guy there or trade back up into the late first round. If they just get one of those 5 guys and they think that's their guy, I just take a shot, because you don't know, it's such a hard thing to predict. But if they go through those first 2 picks and they don't come out with a quarterback, it's going to be so depressing.
It should be interesting, because I feel like I think the combine's up.
I can't hear, all of a sudden now I can't hear AJ's audio. I'm not sure if something happened to.
I can hear. I
can't hear either one of you.
Oh no.
I may have to log out and log back in. I can't.
Okay.
Hello?
Let's see if something happened to mine.
Hello.
Oh.
Whoa.
Now you hear me.
Yeah.
For some reason, it ducked out on my.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's now broadcasting through my. It's now broadcasting through my computer speakers. I think.
Hello.
Yeah, let me. I'll come back in.
Okay.
All right.
So what pick do the Bears have?
Second round. We
Nice.
just got Khalil Mack, the best defensive end in the league, for it.
Hopefully he'll be in the league
Small price to
another
pay.
year.
Small price to
see.
pay. Yeah. Are we just gonna spend this time taking shots at each other? Let's be honest here.
I actually didn't know.
Yeah, that was with the Raiders. They have our first round pick this year. Yeah.
The Raiders could get a lot of good.
Oh yeah, they could.
The Raiders and the Dolphins. We'll see.
Yeah.
Do you see the Dolphins sticking with Fitzpatrick?
No. Okay, no, not sticking with Fitzpatrick. I could see them drafting a rookie higher in the draft and then having him sit behind Fitzpatrick for a little bit, but I don't see them sticking with Fitzpatrick. Not permanently.
So sorry, I missed that. So your take was, what's your take in a nutshell on Tua?
He was asking me if the Dolphins are gonna stick with Fitzpatrick or not, and I said no. Fitzpatrick's a temporary fix for whatever the Dolphins' future quarterback is gonna be.
Yeah, I think the only interesting thing would be, is there a team that they miss out on Burrow, and they decide that they don't really want any of these guys necessarily, that they're going to try to get Trevor Lawrence next year or Justin Fields next year. So I think that could be interesting, but I don't know if anybody's going to.
When have we ever seen that in the NFL where someone waits another year?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they would be more likely to take one of those guys and then turn right back around and draft, the other guy next year. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's likely.
I think this year's combine is really going to tell us a lot on how things go. I mean, I know the combine isn't exactly the greatest measure,
not for quarterbacks.
Yeah, but still, if someone just really impresses, that could shoot their draft stock through the roof.
Yeah, well, a lot of what ends up happening is their pro days kind of, for quarterbacks, their pro days kind of become their combine almost.
Yeah.
And actually even now, they just had the Senior Bowl. And so I was reading some of the stuff from the Colts beat writers talking about how polished Herbert was in terms of just his interviews, how he was on the field, and Jordan Love, I think, was similar too. I don't actually didn't see what his on-field performance was like, but I think just his interviews, he did, he kind of impressed them too, just like Herbert did. So, so it's already starting with the Senior Bowl, and as soon as they, go through the process of the combine, the pro days, and all that, I think there's just something about each one of these quarterbacks that beyond Burrow and Tua that you can kind of hang your hat on. An area like where they really kind of excel. So I could see like maybe 6 quarterbacks going in the first round of the draft. Because I mean, Burrow, Tua, Herbert, those guys are all going, and then you've got Eason, Fromm, and Love, and I just could see a scenario where they all make it up in there.
Yeah. I think what's really going to be curious is I remember, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when the Browns ended up trading down a bunch of spots and got 3 picks that draft. And that was when they drafted Njoku, Kaiser. We know how that worked out. And then something else I can't remember who the other guy was. And then the next year they had pick 1 and then they had pick 4 after that. So I'm just curious to see if anyone plays the long game like Detroit. I think Detroit could possibly end up wanting to do that, or New York and trades a couple spots down, or maybe even Miami wants to do that. And like you said, they decide to go for someone next year instead. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Some of these teams could have some good options there. So I don't know.
Should be interesting. And I don't know where Judah Buddha has gone. He's disappeared. So we're going to try to get him back very soon. So I had an interesting kind of topic, but this is just something funny kind of to hold us over until he's back. Oh my! Judah Buddha, what happened?
I don't know.
He's stuck in the negative zone.
I wonder if they're having problems with the green screen function.
He's getting stalked by the Predator, apparently.
Oh, no.
Let me turn off the green screen. It doesn't look like it's that. Huh.
Oh, my. Let us know if you get it figured out. Okay. This is probably the strangest.
Flawless execution of that green screen.
The entire screen is now green now.
That's it is. It's a literal green screen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
How kind of a weird, really strange story that I found just outside of the NFL to hold us over until I get into my actual question. I was reading up on some NFL news a couple days ago, and you remember Chad Ochocinco?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he apparently wants to try out for the XFL as a kicker.
I saw. Well, I'm gonna now shoot down your segment here, but yes, I saw that, and then I saw that he, I think, backed out of a tryout.
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought that would actually be kind of funny, but yeah, the last thing I saw, I think it was just today, maybe it was yesterday. That he had second thoughts about that. So
okay, sure. That's interesting. I saw that and I was like, got to be kidding me, right? This cannot be real. But
well, okay. Here's the thing. I think this is the question for us. I think we've got a nice segue here. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it. I need the mental break. But do we do fantasy XFL?
Oh boy.
Man,
I would
know.
do it.
I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can handle it. I just need the off season away from fantasy football to come back strong for next year. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be kind of funny because I wanted to try fantasy college this year, but I'm like, no,
Mhm.
I'm in way too many leagues already. I can't pay attention to another one. So the only reason I'm even considering this is because A, there's nothing else going on, and B, pure morbid curiosity,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, it would be funny because I mean you're gonna have no idea, just no idea what's going on. I don't even know
Goodness.
how much analysis you could find from
Yeah.
analysts like ranking players and stuff like
Right,
that.
exactly.
You know?
We would be the number one reporters on Fantasy XFL. Is there even any place to go for Fantasy XFL?
You know what? That's like that could be, you're always looking for a market to corner. That could be
Yeah.
like maybe our thing is like, the fantasy XFL guys,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I don't know.
That would be honestly kind of funny, though. I mean, Landry Jones is in. Matt McGloin is back. Bears fans remember Mark Trestman's going to be coaching Aaron Murray in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I remember that Aaron Murray was part of it. He was one of the few that I remembered.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting. And he's back.
Still kind of off though, huh?
Just a little bit fuzzy this time.
Very low res.
Yeah. So Judah Buddha, we were talking about, if you weren't hearing, what are your thoughts on becoming the official and only reporters on fantasy XFL football?
We wouldn't be the only. A couple people have been talking about it. Jared's friend Jake Seeley has been talking about it. He's pretty hyped about it. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Are you guys gonna watch it? Like, where does it play?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, so we know nothing. We have no idea.
I think they're playing most of their games on ABC and ESPN and Fox. Yeah, they'll be playing on ESPN, Fox, and ABC this year. I don't know. I'd only pay attention to the league solely because of Aaron Murray, but if we're gonna fantasy football this, I'm in.
Yeah, I was telling him like, man, I don't know if I could do it. I just need like that mental break away from setting a lineup, even if I don't care about the team, even if I'm not paying attention to it. I just don't know if I could like log into a team and set a lineup for the spring without just having a
mental
breakdown of some kind. Yeah.
So are we talking about DraftKings? Well, we've lost nobody's watching.
We got someone. Someone's here.
They're all gonna come back and watch later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is there like is the Yahoo app gonna play it? What are you guys talking about?
We don't know. I just he brought up AJ brought up Chad Ochocinco possibly trying out for being an XFL kicker, and so I immediately shot his segment down by breaking the bad news that he had backed out on the tryout, and so he wasn't going to do it after all. So I tried to help like salvage it by saying, are we going to do fantasy XFL?
Yeah.
But then I was also immediately like, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah, you know what? If I can find somewhere in XFL fantasy football and I'm able to do it, I will come in with a segment and just report on how, just like a short segment for our episode, and just report on the XFL really quick, because y'all just look completely burnt out, and I was in probably half the leagues y'all were in.
We're a lot older. We're a lot older than you. We have more just mileage on the cars. We're just old and tired.
Well, the only reason I showed up tonight is two reasons. One, I've got a new camera and I like playing with it. Two, I miss you guys. And three, I can't count. And four, I didn't want to look like a wussed out of talking about the Packers.
You would have. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know.
Oh, did you see where here's one other thing. This is NFL draft related. Did you see where they're
Yeah.
going to have it in Vegas, and they may it may be in this like giant is this a giant fountain type thing? Is it fair to call it a fountain? But they may hold this, have the stage out on this like you can like Google this or look for it on Twitter, but they're talking about maybe having the stage out on the water, and then they would transport players up to the stage by boat.
That sounds so cool and ridiculous at the same time.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Didn't they have it in Chicago like 2 years in a row or something?
Yeah. They'll typically do it, I think, right, for 2 years in the same city.
Oh, really? Is that how they do
I
it?
think so. I want to say yes. I want to say that's how they do it.
I was listening to them talk. Some guys I like. I was listening to them talk about where the Super Bowl is held, and typically, if somebody, if they get a new stadium, they get it there. But mostly, they try to go to warmer states. I thought it was fascinating. It's not like I thought it was some kind of lottery, but it's not. It's very intentional, which makes sense. I mean, you don't want to have it in Green Bay every year.
No one would come to that. It is too cold.
Well, they did have it when they had it in Minnesota 2 years ago, right?
I don't remember when they had, or I don't remember where
that was a while back because they had it in Tennessee most recently. I think.
Yeah, I think it was the year before last. Was in Minnesota.
I thought that was in Philadelphia.
No, that's when Philadelphia won. I'm
I feel
pretty
like
sure
they had it.
Are you thinking of the Super Bowl? Because they had the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Super Bowl.
Oh, we're talking about the.
Okay.
I know. I segued to the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Super Bowl. Yeah. So the draft. The draft. Yeah. What is the process for the draft? They pick it. Okay.
Yeah, they had it at Madison Square Garden forever, and then now they've just gotten into moving it around. So, it's been in
Jared's infamous boat.
Oh,
yeah, that's what they're thinking about doing.
That would be no. Don't do that.
I know. Like I just picture like something like not
going wrong.
Yes.
Who is that with the microphone? It kind of looks like Mahomes.
I don't know.
It does kind of
looks
look like
Kyler
Mahomes.
Murray or something. I don't know.
It does look like Mahomes. I don't know if we can zoom in on it.
Like Justin Fields or something.
Oh wait, no. Who's the guy from
Kyler Murray?
No, it's not Kyler.
Who's the guy from? It kind of looks like the guy from Jersey Shore.
No, I don't
know.
think so.
It is.
Then it's Mahomes. All right, let's keep going. So, have we talked about the Super Bowl? Because I got to go.
All right. Well, before we do, I had one quick question for you guys before we talk about the Super Bowl. As you know, the Super Bowl takes place 2 weeks after the AFC and NFC Championship game. And in between that comes the Pro Bowl. And I have a morbid curiosity of what you guys think about the Pro Bowl, just really quick.
I never watch it. I pretty much just ignore it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know who watches the Pro Bowl.
Probably AJ.
and I say that like I don't want to be that guy who, like, a lot of people are like, who still watches Saturday Night Live? You know, it's like people are like trying to be the cool guy of like, is that still on? I don't really mean it that way, but I honestly, like, you are the only human being that I know that watches the Pro Bowl. Like, it's just, I don't even know. know. Like,
okay. In my defense, when I was younger, this is like, I don't know, 7 or 8 year old AJ here. He thought it was the coolest thing because you'd see all your favorite players playing together and they'd score like 50 points and it was awesome. And then they did the whole Legends coaching, and you had Michael Irvin versus Deion Sanders. That was like relatively close to football, and that was cool. And then 12-year-old AJ realized, oh, this isn't football at all. This is, I don't know.
And a lot of the stars don't go, right? Or do they?
Everybody, like it
it's
gets
a
down
mix.
to the point where
Mitch Trubisky made the Pro Bowl last year. Enough said.
yeah, like because you have so many guys that don't want to be there for it to risk injury.
Right.
And so like I just saw where Jack Doyle for the Colts now is going at tight end. I mean, Jack Doyle's okay, but man, like how far down the line of tight ends do you have to get to have him going to the Pro Bowl?
Well, the two best ones are in the Super Bowl.
That is true.
Right.
So you know they're not gonna play.
Right.
Can you imagine if they went to the Pro Bowl and it got injured?
Oh my God. There's a reason they don't.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Between the injured players, man.
Why don't they has anybody talked about having it after the season's over, after the Super Bowl?
They used to.
What happened?
I think
that just makes so much more sense.
I think they did it just to. There was a whole line of reasoning for it. I think basically nobody was watching it then, and so they did these changes to try to spark interest in it. So they got rid of it, or they moved it. They moved it from being after the season to the week before the Super Bowl, and then they changed it from being. Didn't they change it from being AFC versus NFC, or is it still AFC versus?
They did for like 3 seasons. They changed it. And now it's back to AFC.
Okay, now it's back to that. Okay. Oh, that's how little I know is I didn't even realize that they had gone back to that. So yeah. It's I mean, one of you said it best, where it's not football.
Yeah,
it's not football. And it's. As easy as it is for players to get hurt, it doesn't make sense to play an all-star football game. So, NBA, I mean, baseball, your risk of getting hurt is just not that high. It's a little riskier for the pitchers in the all-star game, but other than them, it's fine. NBA, they don't play defense in the Pro Bowl.
At least it's fun. You still got flashy dunks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got other things going on.
Right.
They've got the 3-point competition, the dunk. Honestly, does the NFL do anything like that in terms of? Okay.
Yes, about 2 years ago, which is kind of the only reason I watch anything related to the Pro Bowl now. They started the NFL skills competition, and so they'll have AFC and NFC, and it's best of 5 rounds, and they'll have passing, they'll have strength competition, wide receiver competition, something else, and I think it's like a speed drill or whatever. And then the last one, which is so funny to watch, is a dodgeball competition.
What?
Which is hilarious.
That's kind of cool. I like
you
that.
will see Jack Conklin slinging dodgeballs at Robbie Gold, and it is the most fun thing to watch. So that is fun. I'll watch every year. When I couldn't watch ESPN, I'd go on YouTube the day after and just watch all the highlights, because that was fun. So they're starting to get a little bit better now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes me 3% more interested, up from 0%. So that's progress. That makes it a little more interesting, because that I would be kind of interested to see. Actually, I think it would be funny if they should get some old retired quarterbacks. They should get some, but elite retired quarterbacks, and put them in passing competitions against the Mitch Trubisky's, because I want to see could they still beat them, and then how humiliating would it be? I'm just a horrible person coming up with these Hunger Games style competitions here, but that's what I would like to see. That's what I would like to see.
And I mean, it's NFL 100. It's their 100th season. There's no better time to do it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That I would like to see.
Well, thank you for indulging my weird curiosity about the Pro Bowl. And now it's time to get what everybody has been waiting for. And Luke Ojeda asked us almost an hour ago.
Right before he left.
Gentlemen, what are your Super Bowl predictions? Kansas City versus San Francisco.
I think it's going to be a tie.
Crazy.
It's going to be a tie.
The first tie in Super Bowl. What is the rule if the Super Bowl is tied through overtime?
I think you just keep playing until somebody scores. I don't know if they just keep. I guess I think they just would just keep restarting overtime periods with. I don't know if the rules ever change, but yeah, I think they would just keep restarting overtime periods because you got to have a winner. So
yeah.
Well, to me, it comes down to the best defensive line against the best quarterback in the league right now. You know what? I was hoping that Aaron Rodgers would get away. What do you do when Mad Dogs are running towards you? You do judo, right? You let them run past you and you go around them. And I think Mr. Trubisky can do Mr. Trubisky. No, not Mr. Trubisky. I think Mahomes.
Sorry?
Mr. Trubisky. Anyways, Mahomes can do a lot better job than Aaron Rodgers. Doing that kind of magic trick where, play action and then running around them as they just. So, but I don't know, man. Probably. So, if the defensive line and Mahomes are a wash, then I would say the tie goes to, just having, sheesh. I mean, oh man, Kittle and baby Gronk are, they're kind of a wash, I would probably give the edge to the Chiefs on tight end. But I like the wide receivers better for the Chiefs, and I like the running back better. Running backs. I like
really?
I think they have 3 better running backs than the 49ers.
So you're going to go KC?
Yeah.
I'm going to go KC too, but that's the one thing that really makes me hesitant to bet against the 49ers is I think the 49ers have a much better running game. But the Chiefs are they at least slowed down Derrick Henry eventually.
Yeah.
And they're good at stopping outside receivers. So I think they can kind of contain Sanders and Samuel. I think it kind of comes down like when I start looking at all the comparing, where's the edge? To me, it's going to be Mahomes versus Jimmy G. And I know that San Francisco's D-line is really good and it can, help contain Mahomes, but that's where I would have to put my faith in. So, yeah. So right now, early, maybe I change my mind before the actual Super Bowl, but that's what I'm thinking right now is Chiefs.
What about you, AJ? What do you say?
Yeah, see, I'm kind of under pressure here for a specific team. But anyway, the 49ers have just been so dominant this year. It is going to be very hard to take them down. I disagree with you, Judah Buddha, a little bit on the fact of their running backs. I think they're pretty equal there. I think it's just going to come down to, I don't think the Chiefs can beat the 49ers on the ground, but they can beat them through the air. The 49ers can beat you either on the ground or in the air. And that's the thing that scares me the most. And, that's probably why I'm going to have to go the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Partially because I would probably be under threat, but also because
is he standing near you right now, or
He's just off camera.
I know where he is. He's gonna watch this later. But I'm gonna go Kansas City. It won't surprise me if San Francisco wins, but I'm going to go Kansas City. They're coming off of a really big win. The 49ers have kind of been coasting, and part of me is that I don't know if anybody's going to remember this, but a long time ago, we had Jared, a long time ago on Roto Hackers, we had a Roto Hackers coach's personality quiz, and I got Andy Reid. Andy Reid has not won himself the Super Bowl yet, and I kind of really want Andy Reid to win a Super Bowl. So I think Mahomes is going to be able to get it done. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and I think it's going to be one of the most fun Super Bowls we've had in a while.
It really is. We couldn't ask for a better matchup.
I'm going to go with Kansas City's explosiveness over San Francisco's consistency. I'll say that.
You know what I'd be saying if I was 49ers, though, if I was Shanahan, is, look, we're going to get ahead early. Everybody else has, let's get ahead early and just shut him down. I don't know. Like, somehow break Mahomes' leg. I don't know. Keep them from coming back, for Pete's sake. But do you know that Andy Reid has won 200 games? More than anybody else in the league. Anybody else that hasn't had a Super Bowl.
Well, the interesting storyline for this is, Kyle Shanahan was offensive coordinator of the Falcons when the Falcons had the 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, and then you've got the Chiefs team, who has been was the rally king against Deshaun and the Texans, coming back from 24 down.
But Reid lost to the Patriots as well. In the Super Bowl.
There are no Patriots.
Philly? No, Patriot. He lost to Brady
in the Super Bowl.
Not Super Bowl, in the
AFC Championship last year. I think.
Reid's never made it to the Super Bowl before.
Right. No. And he wouldn't have played another AFC team in the Super Bowl.
Well, no, didn't Reid make it with Philly?
I don't think so. I don't think he ever did.
No, but there was that year.
I'm going to fact check this real quick.
There was that year that Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens played on a broken leg. I thought Reid was coach that year.
Let's see here. Divisional game, NFC Championship. Yes, you're right. There was one year he made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And he lost to New England. So there's no Patriots standing in his way this time.
So I was right. He lost to Brady. I was thinking that. Okay.
Well,
somebody who said
he lost to him in the AFC Championship like last year or two, but yeah,
he did.
Yeah, but he lost him. You're right. He lost him in a Super Bowl too. Interesting. So both these coaches don't have to worry about playing against Brady, but they have to worry about playing each other. So it's almost as bad. I think I would certainly rather play Brady right now than Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
Or the 49ers defense.
Oh yeah.
So. All right, guys, I got to roll.
Me too.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you all. The Roto Hackers officially endorsed the Kansas City Chiefs as your 2020 Super Bowl champions. I mean, I guess it's 2019, 2020. I have my own gripes with how the years work on the Super Bowl and everything. Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is AJ Herschel. That right there is Judah Buddha. Right behind him is the absolute unit, that is Derrick Henry, but we all know that the absolute stud is Jared.
And I just want to say real quick, I don't think we ever actually addressed this officially, but we had these debates about Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones and where they would finish in relation to other players. I think Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb were the other players, and I don't think we ever really touched on that. We don't need to touch on it either, because what happened was, behind Christian McCaffrey at number 1, the number 2 and number 3 running backs for the season were Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones.
Woo! Wow.
I would have still much rather had Chubb and Mixon rather than not Derrick Henry, but rather than Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I admire you going down with your ship on that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just sink right all the way to the bottom of the ocean on that sinking boat.
Most people that had Aaron Jones didn't even make the playoffs.
I had Aaron Jones in one
same
league.
here.
I had Aaron Jones in one league, my 250 league, where I won the league. Now it also helped. It also helped that I had Christian McCaffrey.
Well, okay, there you go.
And it also helped that I had another player that you did not believe in, Devontae Parker. That also helped. So you just kept sleeping on him.
It's true.
So anyway, before we got any farther into the off season, I needed to, because I didn't even realize that we had talked about the comparisons from like Henry to Mixon and Chubb to Aaron Jones, and so I knew that they had beaten them, but I didn't realize till like a week or something ago, like, oh, they actually finished like 2-3 in the in the standings of top fantasy running back scorers.
So, are you guys thinking about drafting Aaron Jones in the first or second round next year?
I will have to look at that when we get to
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially after the draft.
But he was the third in the league.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I've told you before, I never live off of last year's stats. I never live off of last year's stats.
I think you say that. I don't know if that will be true. We'll see next season. We'll see. I'm remembering what you say.
It's
also recorded.
My track record was pretty good this year, so
It was pretty good. Yes, it was.
all right. That's something we got to start getting to sometime soon. I know we've got a full off season, but I'm itching to get to some like basic rankings for next season, you know.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we hold off still till after the Super Bowl, but I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. Just maybe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to end us on a cliffhanger. Be sure to tune in next time on the Roto Hackers podcast. I don't know what we're going to be talking about next Thursday. It will change from Star Wars to dogs to doppelgangers. But anyway, no matter what, it's going to be a fun time. And we'll see you next time on the Roto Hackers podcast. And it looks like you were about to say something, so I haven't hit the end button yet. If you were about to say something.
Not me.
All right, then we're good. We'll
Oh, it was me. I was,